Have you ever walked away from a moment with someone you liked, and then, hours later, lying in bed, you replay the whole thing in your mind, asking yourself, did I miss my chance? That look she gave you, was it an invitation? That smile? Did it mean something? And then you realize she never said it out loud. She never told you what she wanted. And by the time you overthought it, the moment was already gone. Women can be mysterious. And I'll admit, sometimes even we don't fully understand ourselves. Our needs, our moods, our desires, they shift, they evolve. And the truth is, there are things a woman deeply wants, but will almost never say directly. Instead, she hopes you'll notice. She hopes you'll sense it without her having to spell it out. Now here's why this matters. Because the difference between noticing those quiet signals and missing them is the difference between a connection that could change your life and a story you'll tell yourself years later about the one that got away. And I don't want you carrying regret. By the end of this video, you'll know the 4 hidden desires women secretly hope for but rarely express. These truths can save you from wasted chances, confusing rejections, and even heartbreak. They can help you move with more confidence, more clarity, and more ease in love. So, if you've ever felt confused by mixed signals, if you've ever wondered, why can't she just say what she wants? Stay with me, because this is going to change the way you see those moments forever. And before we dive in, let me say this. If you've ever struggled with these questions, you are not alone. This space, Relationship Truths, is here for you. It's where we decode the unspoken, so love doesn't feel like a guessing game. So take a second, hit that subscribe button, and join us, because you don't have to figure this out on your own anymore. Now, let's get into it. So why don't women just come out and say what they want? Why not just walk up to you and say, hey, I'd love for you to talk to me. I wish you'd ask for my number. I hope you'll stay a little longer. The truth is, it almost never happens. And it's not because women enjoy being difficult or because we want to play games. It's because saying those things out loud feels like taking off all our armor in a world where rejection can cut deeper than we like to admit. For a woman, voicing desire often carries weight. There's fear of judgment. What if I come on too strong? What if he laughs? What if he thinks I'm desperate? There's the fear of rejection. What if I say it and he doesn't feel the same way? What if I open my heart and it gets ignored? And sometimes, it's not even fear. It's a quiet hope. A longing that the man she's interested in will notice on his own. Because when he does, it feels so much more meaningful. And let me tell you something honest. This isn't just about women. All of us, men and women alike, have those moments where we want to be seen without having to wave our arms in the air and beg for attention. We want to be understood without having to spell out every need. We want connection that feels natural, not forced. Think about it. How many times in your life have you wished someone would notice that you were hurting, or that you were interested, or that you were pulling away, without you having to announce it? We all crave that sense of being felt, not just heard. That's why so much in relationships happens in silence. It's not that the signals aren't there. It's that they're often subtle, hidden in the corners of a glance, a pause, a small shift in tone. Love, attraction, desire, they don't always shout. Sometimes they whisper. And if you don't learn to listen to the whispers, you risk missing them. You risk losing what could have been. I'll give you an example, a story that still lingers with me, because it's something I've seen so many people experience in their own way. I remember a man I once spoke with. We'll call him Daniel. His story has stayed with me because it's the kind of experience almost everyone can relate to in one way or another. Daniel told me about a night years ago. He was at a small birthday dinner for a mutual friend. The setting was warm, intimate, laughter filling the air, music playing just low enough that you could still hear each other clearly. And across the table from him sat a woman he couldn't stop noticing. She wasn't trying to steal the spotlight. She wasn't loud or overly dramatic. But there was something about her presence, calm, magnetic, quietly radiant, that kept pulling his eyes back to her. And here's the thing. She noticed him too. He remembered the way she caught his gaze and didn't look away right away. The way she leaned in slightly when he spoke, even when his words weren't directed at her. At one point, she even asked him about the book he was carrying when he arrived. Just a small question, but in her voice, there was more than curiosity. There was an opening, a door cracked, waiting for him to step through. But Daniel didn't. He hesitated. He thought to himself, if she wanted me to approach, she would have said more. If she wanted me to sit closer, she'd have told me. If she wanted me to ask for her number, she would have made it clear. And so he sat there, overthinking every look, every smile, every silence. And then the moment passed. At the end of the night, she left, with someone else, someone who had the courage to take a chance. Daniel said he felt like he was watching a movie of his own missed opportunity, like the door had been open the whole time, but he was too afraid to step through it. And years later, he still thought about her. Not because she was the one, but because that night represented all the times in life we let fear and hesitation steal something from us. And the truth is, her silence wasn't rejection. It was an invitation, a whisper, a hope that he'd notice without her having to spell it out. Women rarely say it out loud. They're hoping you'll notice, and if you don't, love can slip away quietly. Don't let another chance pass you by. If you've ever felt that same regret, subscribe right now, because the next time, you'll be ready. Now that you've heard Daniel's story, let's talk about what it really means for you. Because his mistake wasn't unique. It's one almost every man and woman makes at some point. We wait for someone else to make it obvious. We wait for words that may never come. But if you know what to look for, you won't miss the moment. There are 4 truths every man needs to understand about women. 4 things she wants, but will almost never say out loud. Truth number 1. She won't say, "Come talk to me." Even if she wants you to approach, she'll never spell it out. You will not hear the words, "Please walk over here. I want you to notice me." That's not how it works. Instead, she'll send quiet signals. Maybe it's the way her eyes meet yours and linger for just a second longer than usual. Maybe it's the smile that appears when she catches you looking. Maybe it's that subtle shift in her body language, turning slightly in your direction, fixing her hair when you're near, giving you a soft opening without ever using words. But here's the catch. Not every woman is giving you the green light. She doesn't want attention from just anyone. What she wants is to feel chosen by someone she already feels some spark toward. So pay attention to the difference between friendliness and invitation. If you sense she's trying to create a moment, trust your intuition and take it. Approach with ease. Approach with kindness. Approach with the energy of, "I see you, and I'm curious about you." Not, "I'm here to impress you." Truth number 2. She won't tell you how to approach. She will never hand you a script. She will not say, "Please smile, stand tall, and open with something lighthearted." That's your job. And here's the secret. How you approach matters less than the energy you carry with you. If you walk in with insecurity written all over your face, she'll feel it before you even open your mouth. But if you walk in with presence, with a quiet confidence that says, "I know who I am, I'm comfortable in my skin, and I'm happy to meet you," that energy will do most of the work. Think of it like this. Before you leave your house, remind yourself of why you're valuable. Maybe it's the way people laugh around you. Maybe it's the compliments you've gotten about your style, your kindness, your ambition. Carry those reminders with you. Dress well, smell good, feel good, because when you feel at ease in your own skin, you create a space where she can feel at ease too. And remember, don't overcomplicate the first words. A simple, "Hi, how's your night going?" can open a door. You don't need magic lines, you need genuine presence. Truth number 3. She won't say stay or leave. This is where many men stumble. You start talking and you're not sure. Should I keep going? Should I back off? Should I take it further? She won't spell it out for you. But her body will. Her energy will. If she's engaged, smiling, asking questions, leaning in, you've got your answer. She wants you there. Keep going. But if she starts glancing at her phone, scanning the room, giving short answers, or pulling back physically, that's her way of saying without words, this isn't working. And here's the key. Don't take it personally. Don't cling. Don't drag the conversation on longer than it should go. If she's not feeling it, honor yourself and honor her by moving on gracefully. That's the difference between leaving with your dignity intact and walking away feeling rejected. On the flip side, if she's engaged, if she's laughing and leaning in, that's your green light to keep building. That's when you take the risk of asking for her number or inviting her to continue the conversation somewhere else. Truth number 4. She won't hand you her number. You'll almost never hear the words, "Here, take my number." Women rarely initiate it that directly. Instead, she's waiting to see if you're bold enough to ask, or if you're bold enough to hand her yours. And here's the beautiful part. When you give her your number, you're leaving the choice in her hands. You're saying, "I'd like to continue this, and if you do too, here's how you can reach me." That small act of confidence without pressure can be incredibly attractive. If she's interested, she'll call. If she's not, you walk away knowing you gave it your best shot without second-guessing yourself for days. Because nothing haunts us quite like the words we never said or the moves we never made. So let's take a breath and bring this all together. We've uncovered 4 simple but powerful truths. Truths that women want but almost never say out loud. First, she won't say, "Come talk to me." But her eyes, her smile, her presence may already be inviting you closer. Second, she won't tell you how to approach. That's where your confidence, your energy, and your respect come into play. Third, she won't say stay or leave. Instead, she'll let her body language and her energy guide you, whether she's leaning in or pulling back. And fourth, she won't hand you her number. That next step, that's yours to take, with boldness and grace. Now here's what matters most. This isn't about tricks. It's not about learning how to play the game. Real love isn't a game. Real attraction isn't manipulation. This is about awareness, about paying attention, about being brave enough to notice what's unspoken and respond with honesty. It's about respecting her signals, respecting yourself, and having the courage to move forward or to walk away when it's not right. Because the truth is, we all want the same thing in the end, to feel chosen, to feel seen, to feel like someone was paying attention, not to the noise we made, but to the whispers we left behind. And here's the empowerment I want to leave you with. You are capable of this. You already have what it takes. It's not about being the best looking, the richest, or the most charming man in the room. It's about presence. It's about respect. And it's about courage. The courage to act when the moment is here, instead of replaying it later when it's gone. So the next time you find yourself in a moment like Daniel did, I want you to remember this. Don't wait for her to spell it out. Don't let fear of rejection keep you frozen. Pay attention, trust your instincts, and honor yourself by moving with confidence. Because love doesn't always knock loudly on your door. Sometimes it whispers. And if you're listening closely, you'll never miss it again. So here's the truth I want you to carry with you after this conversation. Love rarely announces itself. It doesn't always show up with fireworks or neon signs. More often, it whispers. It lingers in the small moments. The way her eyes soften when they meet yours. The way her laughter lasts a little longer when you're the one speaking. The way she stays near without ever saying a word. And if you're listening, if you're paying attention to those whispers, you'll never miss them again. You won't walk away wondering, did I lose my chance? Because you'll know that you showed up, that you noticed, that you had the courage to act when it mattered most. That's the difference between living with regret and living with clarity, between replaying the past in your head and being fully present in the moment. And I believe that if you've watched this far, it's because you don't want to miss those whispers anymore. You want better love. You want the kind of connection that doesn't leave you questioning yourself at night. So here's what I'll say to you. If you're ready for that, if you're ready to grow, to see clearly, to move with more confidence in love, subscribe right now and stay close. because this is where we unravel the things no one else will tell you. And this is where you learn how to build the relationships you truly deserve. And if you're not ready, if for some reason you'd rather stay on the outside, still questioning, still second guessing, then tell me in the comments why. Because your voice matters here, even if it's hesitant. This is Serena Rose, and you've been watching Relationship Truths. Remember, the most important love you'll ever give is the love of attention. Attention to yourself, attention to others, and attention to the whispers love leaves behind. Until next time, take care of your heart.